Hello Daily Drafters and welcome back to the channel for today's daily draft. The Premier Draft queue has returned, which means we are now drafting in the Premier Draft queue with human beings after a few quick drafts here on the channel. But we are drafting Wilds of Eldraine and we have, if I'm not mistaken, 6 drafts left of the format. That's it. This is a short format and this will be a short discussion for today's Pack 1 Pick 1 because we've got Lord Skitter Sewer King, and this card is just great. 3 mana, 3/3, get a rat every single one of your combats and just pick off cards from their graveyard, which doesn't really matter, but it's the best card in this pack by a lot, and we will be slamming Lord Skitter himself to start here. Now, where do we go from there? We've got Eldraine the Pyrohammer versus Torch the Tower, because the only black card is Sweet Tooth Witch. I don't think that's good enough of a follow-up to Skitter. So I think I'm going to take the cheap removal spell here in Torch the Tower. Goes well with Lord Skitter because he gives us multiple bargain fodder in the rats that he creates. Eldraine is a fine spell. In Black-Red, I would play this. And in fact, if Torch the Tower weren't here, I might consider taking it. But I'm going to go ahead and take Torch the Tower here over Eldraine to start. Alright, we're not locked into Black-Red, but the Iron Crag is fine with Lord Skitter. I don't think it's great in the more aggressive decks. But there is a Harried Spearguard, there's a Fairy Dream Thief, and a Red Cap Thief, as well as a Stockpiling Celebrant, a Spell Stutter. I'm debating between Spearguard and Dream Thief here, and I think Dream Thief is better than Spearguard. It's a 1 mana 1/1, it flies, it doesn't have haste, but it flies, it surveils one and draws you a card later. So I think that's where we're going to land today. With pick 3, take the Dream Thief. I guess we can stay black with Monstrosity here. The Bruiser, Merry Bards, Witch's Mark is fine. I would always play this card in a red-black deck. Bruiser, most likely not, but it's okay. And Bard's also most likely not, but it's okay. Not looking to be an ego drain deck, unless we end up in blue-black, which we very well could do if red gets cut off of us. Glass Casket, I think, is the best card in this pack. But starting off quite aggressive here, and these black aggro decks are usually pretty good. Now there's a Picnic Ruiner, a bunch of bad black cards, and a Shrouded Shepherd. Now I wish I would have taken the Casket, because I think I'm taking Shepherd here. Red is already drying up. Black is kind of drying up. I mean, these just aren't good black cards. The Witch is fine in some decks, but I think the best card is Shrouded Shepherd here by a lot. So we'll go ahead and take it. And now, interestingly, there's a Vigil and a Cut-In. Both of these are great in their respective decks. I think red-black is a better deck than black-white, and I think Cut-In's a better card than Hopeful Vigil. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Cut-In here, hedge back towards red. I do love me a Stopgap. There's a Charade. Probably not a Warehouse Tabby deck. Probably not a Candy Trail deck. I'll take what I think is the best card in this pack, but don't know if I'll play it. Probably won't. Ooh, pick 8 Monstrous Rage. Don't mind if I do. There's an Edgewall pack, but Monstrous Rage, by far and away the best card in that pack. So let's go ahead and take that. And currently thinking of myself as red-black aggro. And going from there, there's an Archon's Glory. Grabby Giant, not great in these red-black aggressive decks. Fine, but not great. There is a Flicker Coin, and Flicker Coin has been doing well in the statistics on 17lands.com. So maybe you could play a copy of Flicker Coin, but I usually don't like it too much in my more aggressive decks. But I'm fine with it here. Anything we could hope to wheel? Nothing I remember maybe a Sugar Rush or something like that. I don't think this is a Sweet Tooth Witch deck. Ooh, a Firebolt. I thought that was in the last pack, but I think I could take a Firebolt over Gatekeeper here and Triumphant and Valor. Both of those are fine. But I think our red-black start is better. Black was looking quite cut, but we already have a Skitter, an aggressive card in Monstrosity, and an aggressive card in Dream Thief, and I think it's worth holding on to. We do have a decent potential blue-red deck, interestingly, which is not a deck I usually like, but if it's open, if you're going to continue to pass me all the late blue cards, let's see what comes here. If the Spear Guard weren't here, I would take the Stutter and potentially think about going into blue-red, but the Spear Guard is here, so I'm just going to go ahead and take that, stay along the red-black aggro plan that we currently have, which is a deck I like a lot, even if it is slightly contested. Liking the start so far. We just have to hope that black isn't as cut as it looks like. Okay, Bruiser, like I said, could be totally fine if you end up slightly short on playables or you are an aggressive enough deck. And we might be. There's the Sugar Rush I said could wheel. And it did. Seems fine in a deck with a ton of rats. Ratcatcher Trainee would be a great card to open here. What else do we have an option to take? There is a Spiteful Hexmage, and I think the card's okay. It's pretty good with Spear Guard and Dream Thief because it effectively doesn't change them at all. There's a Fairy Fencing, which I think is slightly underwhelming in non-fairy decks. There's a Witch's Mark, which I would like to end up with a copy of by the end of this draft, but for us, I think this is a relatively straightforward Spiteful Hexmage here, and still looking for, you know, Candy Grapple would be great, more Torch the Towers would be great, Monstrosities would be fine, Ratcatcher Trainees would be great. There's plenty of cards we could find and open here in pack 2 and 3. I think we might get a little bit hooked up in black in pack 2, considering how cut it was for us in pack 1 going to the left here. Also forgot to mention, this is our first draft starting in Mythic here in VOD form. So we will be playing in Mythic today. We are starting the draft at Mythic 900, and we will see where we end it. Probably not looking to play Stopgap at this point. I think we're relatively committed to red-black here. I'm not sure what could change that. Some good white cards. But there's a Ginger Brute, a Twisted Fealty, and a Shatter the Oath. I think I'm going to take the Twisted Fealty. This card has destroyed me every time my opponent casts it. And I've only ever put it in one deck, and it wasn't great, but I think we had bad matchups for it. The decks that I like to play in this format, if you haven't caught on by all the drafts I've already done, are big fat creatures, Hamlet, Gluttons, Balloonist, Gatekeepers, things like that. And Twisted Fealty usually wrecks me. I would absolutely love a Ginger Brute for this deck, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Fealty here. Ooh, High Fae Negotiator is a very, very good top-end card for us. Again, having to pass up on a Ginger Brute. Don't like that. Don't think we wheel the Firebolt, but we could. Don't think we wheel the Ginger Brute, but if we do, outstanding. But I can't pass up a High Fae Negotiator. This is the kind of top-end you want in these black-red decks. Not super high on rats currently, but we've still got over half the draft to go to find some rat cards to help us with the bargain here of the Negotiator. Would love another cut-in. Would love probably 2 Ginger Brutes here. And then maybe just a Torch the Tower and another good black card, a Candy Grapple, and we're good to go. That is asking a lot, but we'll see. Alright, Grand Ballguest. Fine enough 2-drop, and aggressive 2-drop at that. We are going to need to up our 2-drop count here. So I think I'll take the Ballguest over the Shatter and the Apple. Now that we already have a Twisted Fealty, I don't think we need Ariad's Tempting Apple. But I'll take the Ballguest as a great aggressive 2-drop for the deck. Alright, there's a Scream Puff, a Daredevil, but there is... I don't think this is an Impact Tremors deck. I haven't liked Tremors as much as Bombardment or even Raid Bombardment and Goblin Bombardment, the 2 Bombardments. Those have seemed better than Tremors for me, because usually what you want to do is you want to get your creatures down first and then play your payoffs. But this requires you to play this before your creatures, which is really awkward. So I'm just going to take another Monstrous Rage here. Fine playing 2 of that. Probably means Sugar Rushes on the chopping block here. Alright, not much in this pack for us. There's an Assassin and a Red Cap Thief, but I'm hoping to not play either of these cards. Everything else here is looking good, though. The Bruiser looking the least good, so I'll just throw it out for now, but again, there are situations where I would put that in my deck. No, there's a Not Dead After All, there's a Rowan's Grim Search, and a Red Cap Thief. I'm thinking either Rowan's Grim Search or Not Dead After All here. I do like Rowan's Grim Search. These decks usually struggle a little bit on card draw, but I think I'm going to take the Not Dead After All. Alright, kind of bricking again. I think I'll take this. It's the only card I'm potentially to play in Bellowing Bruiser. Just throwing the cards on the board now that I don't know will make the deck. I 100% know everything here will make the deck. Not positive about the boards, although there are cards in here we could put into the deck, but these are the ones I'm starting with as the base. Ooh, Gingerbrute Wield pick 10. Let's go. Does that mean we get another one pick 11? Still need some more 2-drops, but we've taken most of the ones we could when we didn't take things like Negotiator and things like that. We have a ton of 1s. Oh my gosh, we got both Gingerbrutes. We got them both back here. Alright, now we need some ways to get Young Hero role tokens, things like the Bard. Okay, Daredevil's fine. The Bard is good. Cut-In is good. Witch's Mark is good. Red Cap Gutter Dweller is good. Alright, this is the first time I get to play with this card. I have lost to it many a times, but I have never gotten to play with it. 4 mana, 3/3 menace, enters with 2 rats. Beginning of your upkeep, you can sack a creature, put a counter on it, and then you can impulse draw for that turn. This card is stupid good, and I am thrilled to take it here. So now we've got Skitter King and Dweller as 2 very good rares for an aggressive deck here. Don't mind if I do. And now you're telling me I can pick up an Imidane's Recruiter? Look, I said I want 2-drops, and Grand Ballguest is a good one, but I'm not passing Imidane's Recruiter. So let's go ahead and just take that here. Oh my goodness. What? Oh my goodness. We got 2. Let's go. Only thing I might play here is Firebolt. Spellvend, that's a very late spellbook vendor, but I don't think we're going to stretch the mana to try to play it. So let's take Firebolt here. Ooh, Ratcatcher Trainee. Oop, didn't mean to double click it, but that's the card I meant to take, so we're good. I saw a Fairy Fencing, I saw a Prism, a Bellowing Bruiser, and I think there was one other red card. I did not mean to double click that, but I am fine in taking it here. Alright, unfortunate here. Don't have anything for us. But I cannot complain about pack 4. How many spells do we have? 8 currently. Not bad for Firebolt. I don't even need access to train troops here. Alright, I think I take Veteran over Grim Search and Sugar Rush. Now that we have 2 red cap Gutter Dwellers, I think that's mainly our card draw. So I'll take another aggressive 1-drop that also goes very well with Gingerbrute here. Hoping to wheel a Grand Ballgast, but I don't think we will. Black has looked very not open this draft, but I cannot complain. It's worth it for playing Skitter King and Negotiator by itself. Red has been wide open. Not playing anything here. So here comes the wheel. I don't think I'm playing either of these cards either. I already have a Daredevil in that may or may not make the cut, so I'll take Edgewall Pack and decide on that later. Currently have 15 creatures, and then some removal, some combat tricks. What more could you want out of red-black? Daredevil's probably the least likely, but I still do need 2 more cards. We'll see what wheels, and then we'll see what we can throw in from the sideboard in deck building here. Didn't see any Candy Grapples, only saw the 1 Torch the Tower. Grand Ballgast would be outstanding to wheel. I don't think there's a lot of red players at the table. I don't know if I'll play 2 Spirit cards. I mean, we are very aggressive. I don't think I need another Daredevil. Not playing any of this. Let's put 1 Spear Guard into the board here. I mean, everything else I do like. We didn't get a copy of Witch's Mark. I do like Witch's Mark in these decks, but we took just very, very good cards over it. So I can't be too upset about that. It looks like we're not going to wheel anything else, unfortunately, but that's okay. Again, I cannot complain about how this draft portion went. So let's see the last 2 cards to add. Going 16 lands as I always do in my aggressive decks. I mean, there's an argument for going 17 with the Gutter Dwellers here, but I think I'll go 16, which means I need to add 2 cards here. Currently at 14 creatures, 8 spells for the 2 Firebolts. I don't need more expensive stuff. I'd like to be able to cast everything I can off of the Gutter Dwellers. I could throw a Daredevil in there. I could throw another Spear Guard. I think I'll play another Spear Guard, and then we have 2 Rages, so I don't think we need Sugar Rush. Not that After All is very good with Gutter Dweller. It's fine with Negotiator. It's fine with Super King. Let's throw this in here just to recur some of our creatures as well. So 16 lands, red-black, a little light on 2s, but very heavy on 1s. And then once these start getting irrelevant, we've got these kind of cards later. As well as Firebolts to remove creatures to get these through and everything. I do like the deck. So again, Mythic 900, we'll see where we can end up at the end of this one. I'll see you in game 1, but not until after a quick message from me. Thanks, me. Whether you're ready or not, we have another set releasing here very soon, and that means it's time to take a look at the Patreon page to get yourself prepared and ready. I pride myself in my Patreon being incredibly affordable, beginning at just one singular US dollar per month, which comes with lifetime access to the Daily Drafters Discord server. That's right, you can just join for 1 month and leave, and you can stay in the Discord forever. After all, it's well less than half the cost of your morning cup of coffee and goes right back to giving back to the channel. For just $3 per month, you can gain early access to every upload on the channel as soon as I'm done editing them, and the most expensive level of support is just $5 US per month. That's right, just $5. It's the highest level of support that I have, and patrons in this tier gain access to my expansive, exhaustive, and interactable tier lists, of which you can see a small sample of here. You get to see how I rate every single card in the set from A to F, whether or not the card has moved up or down since the last update with these arrows here. You can also hover over every single card name to see a clickable link that brings you straight to Scryfall, and also common and uncommon tier rankings within each color, so you know which commons I think are the best and how they compare to the uncommons in the same color. These tier lists are guaranteed to be completed and updated with my experiences during early access before your pre-release events for the new set. Again, all of these tiers are incredibly affordable, so go ahead and check them out. If a monetary contribution isn't your speed, a subscription to the channel is always enough. Thanks so much for your consideration. Alright, we do go first, and we have double Ginger Brute, which might just have to carry us until we can find a black. If we find a black, Spiteful Hex Mage is going to be great, because putting a Cursed Roll on Ginger Brute doesn't do anything. So I'm going to ride the back of Ginger Brute here and hope they survive. Don't need more black cards, unfortunately. Wouldn't mind finding a swamp. Nope. Alright, well, let's just keep the beats going here. Alright, getting a monster roll on this is going to be good. This is probably not the most... Actually, I know it's not the most... the best way to go about doing this here, but we don't have anything else going for us. So we're just on the Ginger Brute beats train here. If they had removal, they would have used it, and they didn't. So a young hero off of the Embereth veteran is going to be quite good. They go to 9. Let's see if they now have removal. Nope. All right. Can we win off of the back of 2 Ginger Brutes here? So if we sacrifice veteran, activate both Ginger Brutes, they go to 5. Next turn, this one grows 1 more, and they go to 0. Currently, they could hit us for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're at 13. So if they don't have removal, which they've proven to not have yet, we win next turn. Also assuming they don't have any creatures with haste, which they could. But if we let this game go longer, we're losing. So... Sure, I guess we're doing this. Again, they're dead next turn, as it currently stands. So, cross your fingers, no removal? Or no haste creature? Sure. Go to 5. Do they survive? Oh, that's a haste creature. Oh. can't even cast that. Come on. Well, I mean, again, we got mana screwed, so we got close as close as we could. They still have priority here, which could be any number of things, so... What if I attack with just this one? Play a trainee, block, block, die? So no, I can't even attack here. Just have to do this. And this still might not even be enough. Block, block, block. Yeah, we are technically alive as it stands. If they can celebrate, we aren't alive. They've got an instant. It might be removal. They've got 4 cards left in hand. I can't imagine a scenario where we survive here. Darn. We were so close, and then they played a 1-mana 1/1 with haste. Yeah. They gotta make sure they don't die on the backswing, I guess. I mean, we just have to make some blocks. They get to blow us out and kill us. We can't cast half of our hand here. We basically mulligan to 4 this game. Celebrant. Can't imagine a scenario where we win here in any way. I guess currently Frantic Firebolt keeps us alive. That's all I can think of. Well, that is a way to survive, I suppose. We had just drawn this last turn. No, we still couldn't have won because we couldn't have activated this. Unless all their creatures were tapped. I'm not sure. I can't even remember. Alright, well we have to trade this for the 3/2 and then go to 1. They're still at 5. We can't cast another card in our hand. Oops. Getting trigger happy here. Monstrous Rage for the win. Close enough. Alright. Yeah, we were never winning that game there. Sketchy keep, but like I said, we were 1 turn away from a Gingerbrute win, and they played the stupid Harried Spear Guard. Sure. Alright, we're on the draw this time. We do have Dream Thief into Monstrosity with Trick backup here, so I think we'll keep this. Spear Guard. Sorry, you're much better on turn 1. I think we can do better than you. Red-white again. Aggro v aggro many a times here. Got priority as we played that, so they could have Archon's Glory here. Yeah, I think they... I mean, it also could just be this activation, but I think it could be Archon's Glory. Let's just hold up Rage and Not Dead After All. We're not necessarily the aggressor right now. So... Fine trading both of these creatures off here if they'll let us. I still think they have Glory. Yeah, so if they have Glory, we can Rage in response and then trade everything here. So let's do this. Okay. I don't want to Not Dead After All while they have all their mana. Edgewall Pack. Sure. Let's see if Gutter Dweller survives here. Don't have any other plays, so it's what we're doing. I mean, I could have waited and then held up Not Dead After All, which would have been good, but then I would have done nothing, which isn't good. 3 cards. Cut In kills it. Torch the Tower kills it. Frantic Firebolt kills it. No, Frantic Firebolt doesn't, but I do think they have Torch the Tower here. They keep hovering over that rat. Ooh, that's a good one. And still Torch the Tower and Archon. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Well, maybe we'll draw our other one. Again, I could have held, like I mentioned, I could have held it back and then played it a turn later, but then we just have a Dream Thief on the battlefield, and that's it. Which, maybe it was correct, but oof, it just feels so bad. The Not Dead After All is not going great when I really want to be tapping out. Come on. Getting owned here. Sure, we'll go to 0-2, I guess. I can't really do anything. Now we're dead on board, so it doesn't really matter what we do. All right, let's see if this incredible deck can do any better than 0-3. Okay, it's slow, but we do have a ton of 1-drops we could draw. I'm wondering, it depends on how, is this my creature? Yeah. I'm wondering how aggressive they're going to be to see if we should hold Lord Skitter until turn 4. Here comes Toadstool, whatever. Brave the Wilds, potentially. Okay, Brave the Wilds. I would like a 2-drop. Give me Grand Ball Celebrant. Can I interest you in a land? It does let us cast Gutter Dweller at some point here, so we'll just do that. Red-green. Charming Scoundrel. Okay. That's fine. Get a treasure. Alright, we have a curve of Skitter into Gutter Dweller. If they kill Skitter, then ideally that opens up Gutter Dweller surviving next turn. This Not Dead After All has just been so awkward in our hand every single game. That's okay. I could trade Monstrous Rage and a Rat for the Lookout here. I think that would be okay. Then that would let me hold up Not Dead after all. But I didn't think they would block, so we're just going to do this. If they had removal, I feel like they would have killed the Sewer King with it. But they didn't. So let's see if Gutter Dweller survives. Cut in. Yep. He does not. Again, might have been worth holding back, but let's draw our other one. The deck says, no, how about another land? Again, I'm fine trading the Rage for the Lookout here. Hold up, Not Dead after all, and now we're in a top deck war, and we have a bunch of bad top decks in this deck, and they have 6 cards in hand. So this could be a rough one here. Okay, that doesn't block our rats very well. That is pretty good. Still doesn't block our rats. I mean, they all do block our rats, just not very well. Mountain is about the last thing I needed. Drawn 8 lands in 12 cards here, so we played this game with 2 creatures and 2 combat tricks. Here on turn 7, or whatever it is. Probably can't afford to pay for Vanguard here, I wouldn't think. Let's see if Skitter survives past a potential second cut-in. Nope. Alright, deck, you gonna do this to us here now? 9 lands and 13 cards here. And then we lose to a Gruff Triplets. What a draft! What a draft. We get 2 Redcap Gutter Dwellers and we go 0-3. That is kind of wild to me, but that's where we're at. Ten lands in 14 cards. We played this game again with 2 creatures and 2 combat tricks. And we are now 0-3. 0-3. Okay. Alright, well, that is what it is. So thanks for sticking around to the end of this incredibly short one today. And I'll see you next time for a daily draft.